action from the Concacaf Nations League in the 2022-23 campaign. Hello, welcome to DNQ Football. Concacaf have now released their statement regarding World Cup qualification for the 2026 World Cup and what the format is looking like for the next two Concacaf Nations Leagues. That is 23-24, 24-25, and the impact that that has on Gold Cup and Copa America. And it has an interesting impact on this year's Nations League too. Let's start with Nations League A moving forward. They currently have 12 teams. They're moving that up to 16. So all of the teams that are currently in League B and get promoted will get promoted to League A. That's 4. But the 4 teams that were due to go down to replace those teams, they're not going down. Granada, the main team that will be counting themselves lucky for that. They've had a tough time. Nobody expected them to do that well. They're putting up a decent fight, but they will not get relegated. No one will get relegated from League A. Now, those 16 teams aren't really 16 either, because the 12 lowest ranked, you'd imagine the 4 teams that get promoted, plus the middle and lower ends of the the groups, the lowest ranked, they will go into 2 groups of 6, and then 4 lucky teams, CONCACAF's favourites, will automatically progress to the next stage of the Nations League. So in League A, we're going from 3 groups of 4, 12, to a completely different format in which there are 2 groups of 6 and 4 teams that are already through to the next stage. Now in those 2 groups, what will happen is the top 2 will go through in each group, and the bottom 2 will get relegated, and the 2 in the middle will stay exactly where they are. The top 2 from each group will then join the other 4 to create an 8-team quarter final. This is in the 23-24 tournament. In that quarter final, 4 teams will win. Pretty standard procedure for a quarter final. The 4 winning teams will automatically get in to the Copa America in 2024, and so we'll join the CONMEBOL sides. The 4 losing quarter-finalists will then go into a 2v2. They'll get paired off and they'll play a single match, and the 2 winners will go to the Copa America, leading to a total of 6 teams from the CONCACAF Nations League setup going to the Copa America. Now the 4 winning quarter-finalists, should I say, they'll just go through and play the rest of the tournament, but they'd have already qualified for the Copa America. Essentially, what we're saying is for the next CONCACAF Nations League A, USA, Canada, Mexico and 1 other team are already in the quarterfinals and have a fairly good chance of getting to the Copa America, and then it's up to whoever else. In terms of the ranking, I'm not sure how it works for non-FIFA registered sides such as Martinique. I assume that they will have to be part of the 12 teams that will compete in the 2 group stages, as they've not got a FIFA ranking. I assume that's how it's done. More info will come on this, I'm sure. So that's League A. Now in League B, you've got sides like Montserrat, you've got sides like Barbados that are living on the edge in relegation spots in League B. And you've also got a few sides, such as Haiti, for example, in League B, that will be looking to get promoted to League A. The promoted sides will get promoted, but don't worry if you are Montserrat, don't worry if you're Barbados or any of the other sides in League B, you can't go down. So what we'll end up with is 4 groups, exactly as it is at the moment, except the 4 winners will get promoted, and the 4 sides from the League C groups will also go up to join those teams. So League B remains unchanged. We'll have 4 groups of 4 teams. The winners will get promoted, and the lowest ranked side, the bottom side, will get relegated as of the next Nations League. But the impact on this tournament is that nobody can go down. Does that make it kind of pointless for the whole Montserrat team to kind of travel over and play those few games, considering that they're not going to win the group and they can't go down? Potentially, but we'll talk about the environmental consequences in the comments, I'm sure. What impact does this have, though, on League C? My favourite group, my favourite league. Unfortunately, there'll be a rejig there. Currently, there are a group of 4, 3 groups of 3. 4 sides will get promoted, and we will go down to just 9 teams. Nobody can go down from that league anyway, but nobody's coming down from League B, as I've already said. So we'll go from the position that we're currently in with the 13 teams to a position where we only have 9, and there will be 3 groups of 3. The winners will get promoted from the next tournament onwards, and if you come second or third, it will have no impact. Do I like these changes? I'm going to go out there and say no, I don't like these changes. Slightly controversial. I don't hate the changes, but for me what it does is, again with CONCACAF, we're pinching the top ranked sides and putting them out of the competition until the latter stages. And it's just my least favourite thing about CONCACAF. You could argue that they'd win anyway. You could argue that Mexico, if they were in the CONCACAF Nations League in this new setup, would win it anyway, right? But if you don't put them in until the quarter-final stage, they're never going to get worse than the quarter-final, are they? For League B, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference, in my opinion. We'll get to see loads of really cool games in League A, I'm sure, with some of the stronger sides. But we'll get less games in League C. We will. You're looking at USVI and Turks and Caicos Island, Sint Maarten, and I can't remember off the top of my head who the other team are, Bonaire it is. They're currently playing 6 games in the groups at the minute because they're lucky enough to be drawn in Group A in League C, where they've got 4 teams. We're going to lose that, and we're going to get down to these teams like the others. I know there are others in other groups as well, that they only play 4 games. They only play 2 sides home and away. And whilst that's great, whilst it's great that we're still getting this tournament and we still get to see these sides play each other, it just feels like not enough games for these teams. You know, there's obviously the chance to get promoted to League B, which is great, and then you get more games. I get that. But I just always feel like with CONCACAF there is that element of it always being stacked in the favour of some of the better sides. Like, it was a huge thing when Canada got to the World Cup because they'd come all the way from what was the first group of World Cup qualifiers. Because that's not a big thing for Mexico and the USA. It's just not. They're already in the final group, and I disagree with it personally. I would get it for World Cup qualifiers, and we will do a separate video on the latest announcement from CONCACAF on the plans for the 2026 World Cup qualification. That video will come later on this week, probably over the weekend. But in terms of the CONCACAF Nations League, and again we'll do a preview for some of the big games we've got coming up, but it's just lost a little bit of spice this year because no teams can go down. There's still the promotion chase in a lot of the groups, which is still excellent. We'll still be doing our stuff on DNQ about that. But I don't love the changes. What do you think about the changes? Are you a fan? Do you agree with my comments about the fact that ranking teams pre a tournament and getting to the quarterfinals is right or wrong? I'm all here for the debate. And also, as you can see, journey to 5k. There's going to be incremental improvements to that bar, which I've drawn up, as you can see. 2023, we'd love to hit 5k by the end of the year. We're in a pretty healthy position. We've grown loads over the last 12 months. We'd love to do it again, and your support means loads. So if you can share the video, subscribe if you don't already, that would be absolutely great. And as always, I'll see you next time.